An important part of talking about the ethics and morality of decision making in video games is to understand that it's not just what it appears to be in the game's story. One of the things that we sort of assume is that if a game seems to present an ethical or a moral choice, that therefore it is an ethical and moral choice. But the fact is that how the video gamer actually understands what's going on in the game is really important. There's a lot of different ways of understanding that. A literalist reading of a video game would say, well, if a game codes an action as evil and the player chooses to do it, therefore the player is taking an evil action. I don't actually think anyone really believes that straight up, but there's a lot of review and a lot of commentary on video games that sort of seems to assume that. And on the other hand, you've got the idea of the magic circle, where whatever you do in the game, it's a special social space, and so it's really something that's completely disconnected from reality. And so, yeah, you can conquer the world, and it doesn't really matter because it's a game, right? And both of those responses are onto something, but they don't completely explain how the gamer is actually understanding things. One of the things that I found out in my research is a discussion of how players have different frames. They have different kinds of mindsets when they're playing a game. And sometimes they're thinking like a character in a world, and they're really buying into the fiction of the game, and other times they're more detached, or they're more playful. Sometimes they like to just play around with the game and see what happens. And so when you have a moral or an ethical choice, sometimes it actually doesn't mean what it looks like it means. So when a player is doing what looks like terrible things in a game, shooting people or conquering the world or doing something like that, sometimes we need to take a step back and think about what they're actually understanding. Now, I'm not saying that that means that in all situations it's a-okay to go and destroy the world or kill people in a bloody manner or anything like that. All I'm saying is that when it really comes down to it, the kinds of decisions that people make in video games in terms of violence, or not even violence, any kind of decision that they make in a game, it's a complex thing, it's a complicated thing, and we really need to be thinking carefully about what the gamer is experiencing, and not just looking at the game as an outsider and going, oh, well, that's definitely what it means.